So let's get to it. I said that today we'll be talking about studying abroad may not necessarily be success abroad. It's important that we talk about this because we realize that there are some of our kids who go abroad um, to study and do not necessarily um, reap the benefits of studying abroad. Now, there are different phases that we help our clients to see, just to have a peek into what it is going to be like when your child goes to study abroad. So when we are helping out, when we are guiding students and also their parents in making this decision, we usually will consider the different steps. So let's take it. We'll consider transition. That is just leaving your home country and going abroad. We'll consider study. That is, which school are you going? What program are you studying? And how does that fit your personality? How successful will the child be in the study destination he's going to? We will also consider internship and work experience. It is very important today that internships and work experience is considered when, young students start planning out their going abroad. I know most of the time parents don't remember this, but it is part of the study and career plan. That the location of study should be a place where, work experience will be possible, where internships during summer or during short holidays will be possible. Now, these are very important routes. What is also important is work placement. So after internship and 4 years course study, the government of that country usually will give the student a work permit, at least a 2 years work permit. And you have to think through work placement. But the truth is that it isn't when a child graduates that you start thinking work placement. So usually, why there is a failure at the end of 4 years or 5 years or 6 years abroad is because there wasn't a plan. There wasn't a good plan. And I'm saying that success abroad needs to be planned. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is why, even though some of you listening to me may have peers that have gone abroad to study, they may not have earned much out of their study abroad. They may not have benefited much out of their study abroad. And why is that so? Because it wasn't planned. They didn't have a good plan. They didn't have a good network whilst they were there. Networking starts from the day that you enter a school. Networking with your department, networking with your peers, networking with even the community, interacting, getting involved with activities that can eventually be of benefit, that can yield, experiences, that can give you opportunities even to travel out of your own campus. They are all, part of the studies. That is all part of learning. That is part of education. But if there isn't a plan that when the child enters a university abroad, 1 year, the first year is for settling down and making friends and getting conversant with your campus and getting conversant with downtown. That the second year is for looking, start looking for a job, no matter how small. There are jobs on campus. If you seek for them, you will find them. There are jobs off campus. If you seek for them, you will find them. There are jobs online. There are jobs online that startups, small establishments, small companies are willing. They are always very willing and excited to engage, young interns because they want to grow them and they also need their services, which tends to be slightly cheaper. Now, if you're studying abroad, you will be shocked how many dollars you can earn in an hour. You can earn as much as $30 per hour, $20 per hour. And if you work for a day, you work for 4 hours, that is 30 times 4. And that is $120 in a day. Because you have school, you have classes to attend, it may happen that you're able to work just twice a week, which is fantastic. All of those are little experiences. But you need also to be guided to know what kind of jobs can you engage in 100 level in your first year. What kind of jobs should you start gravitating towards in your second and third year? It isn't all programs that have a practical, what you call internship or work experience attached to the program. But it is onus on the student to seek internship, to seek work experience, always, paid or unpaid or voluntary. So all of this goes into, developing your CV. You're developing yourself. It's personal development. It is development of the CV. It's enriching your experience and your knowledge. And knowing your community. And you're looking around and seeing how can you translate what you're learning, what your program is, into, creating value for your community, both online and offline, and getting paid for that. Now, that is work experience stage. Now, you're doing study and you're also accumulating experience through internship and work placements. Now, you graduate with, good intellect, good work in academics, you get a good GPA because you have to concentrate. You don't go reading though. You read, you party. You read, you play. Parents are always shocked when I say this, but that is the reality. You read, you party. You read, you network. You read and you socialize. You travel. Go together with friends, go to a nearby, city. That is touring. You're touring the country where you're at. You're knowing more about the country where you went and about the city. What that does for you is that you start getting imaginative. You start creating ideas in your mind. You start thinking, what can I do in this country? Where is the need? Where is the gap at this time? Or in your community where you're at, what is the need of the time? And before you know it, you've graduated. Now, it is the experiences, but let's go back to the fact that at your third year in university, you are supposed to have corporate experiences. So your job placement isn't no more in small stores and, ship dropping. They call it ship dropping. Or basically purely online experiences. You have to get into corporate establishments. Try and get into corporate establishments so that You now have hands-on experiences. You also have the backing of a reputable company on your CV and a reference of a reputable company on your CV. Now at the point of graduation, you're not given a work permit. If you haven't been engaged with internship, community service, volunteering, after graduation, you will not know your left from right. You wouldn't know what to do next. You wouldn't know who to talk to. You wouldn't know where to start. And so, you keep running around. You keep running around for 1 whole year searching for a job. That's what usually will happen. The child now is an adult, keeps job searching. The government is keeping its promise to give you 2 years work permit, but you are not engaged. You're not engaged in any work. Now, specifically for a country like Canada, your work experience after graduation has to be, appropriate. Appropriate for what? Appropriate for your next application for permanent residency. It has to be appropriate. There are certain things, certain factors, certain indicators, certain skills that the Canadian government is looking for before giving you a residency in their country. They're looking at character while you've been in school. They're looking at, skills. They're looking at, your GPA. They're looking, in fact, GPA is the least, I guess. Or I must say, GPA actually is the least. It is more of how resourceful you have become in the 4 years, 6 years, 5 years while you were in their country. How resourceful are you? And what can you do next? It is what you have done in the previous 4 years of staying in that country that gives the government confidence that you are a good candidate. They don't just want Jonesers in their country. They want productive people. They want people that will add to their economy. They want people that are creative, that are productive. They don't want people that are laid back. They don't want people that are roaming the streets. No. And so you can see how you gravitate from transition into studying, into internship, into work, work experience, community service, networking. And then graduation from school into work permits. Because now, after graduation, you can get a work permit from the government. And it means that you can earn more. And after that, you are eligible for a permanent residency. Now, if all of these steps is done well, and don't forget, at the point of staying abroad, try to get a consultant, an immigration lawyer who can give you good advice. Most of the time, we don't want to spend. You have to spend money to get knowledge, to get good advice, to get good direction. So that your investment and your parents' investment in 4 years or 5 years in another country wouldn't come to waste. So that at the end of graduation, after 4 years, you are the one that is reaping from the economy, from the country. You are the one that is reaping from the knowledge you have accumulated. Now it is the turn of that country, whether UK or Canada, to pay you back. Now you start to reap, you start to earn big money. And that's when you can eventually stay. You can eventually live as a citizen or a permanent resident in a foreign country. Then you can say study abroad is a success.